You find that we are now facing a new wave. We have had COVID-19, we have had the Russian war, but we have felt it escalating in terms of our everyday life. And this has escalated to our businesses. I'm sure right now we all know there's a global recession in the world. And have we gotten to this level because we slacked, or have businesses gotten to this level because we didn't foresee this situation? Or is it that the managing directors or business owners or founders who began companies that have been in operations for the last 20 years, is it that they knew how to do it better than us? Or is it that they had the knowledge and they didn't impart it next? Or what do you think has been the reason as to why we are still enjoying the fruits of the labor that happened 20, businesses as far as the 19, Warren Buffett and all those people, they are still magnets in our society today. Why is it that Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, is still moving from software to software and getting to do this thing right, yet we're living in a day and age where softwares are coming up every day? Why aren't we not feeling these other softwares? Why are we not feeling these other innovative ideas? And if we scale up to our Kenyan market, why is it that these small business owners are still struggling, compared to the premium level, the C-suite level CEOs who have been in operations for the last 20 to 10 years?
It's a very good question, and the answer to that would be, I have been in the C-suite of major corporations, and I understand how the major corporations work. There is process, there are systems, there are investments. When I interact with the startups and SMEs and side hustles that we do in Kenya, is that the basic fundamental lack is always there are no investment in sales, there is no investment in processes, there is no investment in even the owners in terms of understanding the sales process. Now, I'm passionate about sales because that's what I've been doing for many years, selling majorly technology. And a lot of times when I'm called by SMEs or startups, there are always two important questions I would always ask them. So the first question is always, what is the problem? What is the cause of the problem? And the first answer is always, I don't have sales because the sales team is not selling my product. And the next question I always ask, what is the investment you've put in sales? And 9 out of 10, there is no investment in sales, but there is investment in a lot of other things like operations, like vehicles, good offices, but there is no investment in sales. So, my answer to those questions always, when you set up a business, you are the only one who understood the challenge that you went to address in the market. So it is expected that when you start, 80% of the sales have to come from you as the business owner. 20% of the sales, I expect them to come from referrals. Customers who are happy with the work that you've done for them, and therefore they are referring you to the next customer. That's how it works. Until you reach a point where now you start, inverting the pyramid. And number two, the investment aspect, where you can afford invest in sales processes and sales and sales people. Those are the main challenges I find in SMEs and startups. and small a small business owner. And overall, therefore, it affects them to acquire business, it affects the retention of business, and it even affects the growth of business, because you need to expand from the same customers or from new customers.
All right.
Yeah.
What would the new entrepreneur, the latest kid on the block,
Yes.
who has just begun business like yesterday,
Yes.
and also, our local setting, we have people who are now doing photography as a business,
Yes.
people who are doing modeling as a business, people who are doing influencership as a business. How will they need to package themselves, and what mode of operation are they supposed to are they supposed to put in play so that they can be able to compete with the big boys? Yeah. What is the business development kind of way of them, how they need to stand so that they can compete with corporations that have been there for several years?
Very good question. And so this is the answer to your question. In terms of positioning, they need to understand, for me, as begin with, do you understand that the first thing you need to do is attract clients, right? And close clients. So basically, what am I saying? You need to be a salesperson. So if you are not a salesperson from a previous job, have you learned a skill called selling? That is the first question I always ask. If you look at a lot of those businesses, the chances of a former salesperson starting a business, 80% of the time they will succeed. In fact, a lot of times, salespeople who start businesses, they would collapse because of other factors like implementation and other things. But acquisition is normally not a challenge. So, I'm an accountant. You're an accountant, for example, in a business, and you want to start up an audit firm.
Yes.
You realize the first thing you need to do is get clients. And what do you need to do? You need to go and start. So, the investment, therefore, you need to start is learning how to do what? To sell.
Yeah.
Is the first investment before you even begin starting a business. This touches on either if you're forming a corporate where you want to meet corporate clients, or even if you're just doing simple things like farming. If you're rearing chicken, for example,
Yes.
do you know you need to actually to sell those chicken or the eggs they're in?
Yes.
So you could have a very good formula, and you have invested in the farm and the feeds and everything, and then harvest.
Yes.
What do you do with the harvest? Have you learned how to go and approach a hotel, for example, and pitch to the procurement or the chef and tell them, I can actually supply you 2,000 or 100, whatever amount of trays. So you can have a situation where actually you're getting from farm to fork because you have sales skills. You understand?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if you don't have that, then what happens? No acquisition.
Okay.
And therefore, your business struggles.
Okay.
Number two, by success, then by luck, you might get customers on hold. But you will realize you're struggling to retain the customers because there's retention strategy in the selling process. You need to understand the retention strategy. Number three, there's what you call there's the retention of the customers, and then there's also growth, wallet share, expansion of the business. You might be supplying only eggs to this customer, but it's a hotel. Where are they getting their tomatoes? That's a wallet share. You need to have a strategy to expand around it. So, for me, having been in business development for this long, that is what I see people outside major corporates struggling. Because major corporates invest in both. They invest in the best, they invest in technology, they invest in the sales process, they do all that. But SMEs will have a challenge in terms of that. And that's why I said, learn to sell as a skill. Whatever you do, learn to sell as a skill. Yeah, before you start a business.